Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives. Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our daily gratitude call. Thank you for joining our call today. I appreciate you guys getting up and being here live with me. I know we're going to create something really amazing today. Everything always builds on the last, and we've had a really awesome week so far, and just really excited for what gets to be created today. There were several things that were mentioned as we were doing our rounds of gratitude about the earth and nature, and the way that things kind of work together, and the beauty and the smell of pine needles, lots of several things, and also like the predictableness and the unpredictableness, like the consistency, but also the change. And let's see, like not knowing what the weather's going to be like, but knowing that the sun's always there, lots of things like that. And so I just felt like really connecting to our gratitude for the physical experience that we have here on the earth. A lot of times, we really focus on the spiritual aspect of things, and I'm sure that we're going to go there too, because nothing is, our soul is the spirit and the body and the mind and our environment and everything all together. So everything is connected. But for today, it just felt like good to differentiate and just talk about the physical experience on earth. Gratitude for our physical experience on earth. So I'm going to set our timer for 90 seconds. We're going to do a private silent meditation on gratitude for the physical experience on earth, and we'll see what comes up. So 90-second private silent meditation, gratitude for the physical experience on earth. Begin. All right. I'm so grateful for the variety that God has provided for us, the smells and the tastes of so many different kinds of food and even textures. And also the sounds where in our home we've planted several pine trees and, lots of trees around our property. And when it's windy out there, you can hear the wind in the pines. And I love going in the mountains and hearing that. And you can smell the fragrance of the pine. I love that. And also probably what I settled on, just really focusing on the most was the visual beauty, the asymmetrical balance that if you just look at a landscape and the beauty, the wild beauty of like a desert landscape or a tropical rainforest, or like a beach or something like that, that nobody went out and like planted things specifically, didn't measure out and say, okay, we need to plant this here and this here and this here. It's like God just like sprinkled a bunch of wildflower seeds and, tree seeds or whatever, and everything grew, and it just like takes your breath away, the beauty. I think about like Bryce Canyon with the hoodoos, I think is what you call them, those tall things, and they look so random, but at the same time, it's like this amazing visual beauty that just captivates your whole soul. It's an experience. It's not just looking at it. It's just like a whole soul experience. And that's what I'm grateful for today. Who else has something that they would like to share? Phil?
I love what you posted yesterday, and I'm going to ad lib.
Okay.
But you said something about how without our body and our spirit together, there's no balance. There's no balance. So if you focus too much on body, then you're out of balance. If you focus too much on spirit, then you're out of balance. And I just think that's so amazing. I mean, that's the ride we're on right now. We came down to have a physical experience, and sometimes it's unpleasant, and sometimes it's completely amazing. And most of the time, for me, it's just completely amazing. There's just so many things to learn, and how you can just take an idea and then just germinate that idea in your mind, and then it turns into something physical. It's just, I don't understand it, but it's super cool, and I'm just glad to be on this ride.
Awesome. I love that. Just the thought came to me about the idea, like you said, and create something that all the materials are already here for us. That's completely amazing to me too, that whatever idea we have, God's already provided all the resources and materials to be able to create it. Thank you. Colleen.
Oh, I didn't know I'd unmuted myself somehow. But I'm glad it did, because I was just about to raise my hand. I was just thinking about how, I think it was Thomas Jefferson, or maybe it was, I don't remember who. Anyway, they had their warehouse burned down, and they got their kids out of bed and to go look at it, and the wonder of change, and how quickly it happens sometimes, and how long it takes sometimes to have change in your life and to create something, and then it can go away in a wisp of smoke, but it's all a wonder. It's all a process of creation, of deciding of something new, and just being excited for changes that come my way, and purposeful changes, and yet unpurposeful changes that are just a wonder.
Beautiful. I love that word, wonder. And I know with fire, it creates a change. There's even freezing water is creating a change. And that's a wonder. And I was thinking about rust. Rust is just a slow burn. It's like a fire that lasts over hundreds of years. And, it's very much the same type of change that happens as if it were a fire, but it's just a lot slower. And what a wonder that is. And just the thought came to me that creation is just change. Sometimes it's fast change, and sometimes it's slow change. But anytime we create something, it's like changing one thing into another, changing an idea into a physical thing using the tools that we have.
And what you were saying about Bryce Canyon, about you just know that there is a purpose in creation, and that even though God has a plan and everything, he knows what's going to happen, the physical experience and all experiences are necessary for our growth and our understanding to come to a place where we can be united.
Beautiful. And to be the best that we can be. I love that. I love the idea of just allowing God to provide the physical experiences that are perfect for our growth and to come together. Thank you. Who else? Brittany.
Yeah, what came to my mind was just I love when you were talking about just the the tropical islands and the desert landscape. I live in the desert. It's Arizona, and we moved here from Colorado, which is a really beautiful state. And I remember at the beginning, I was like, I feel like I moved from pine cones and deer in my backyard to burnt cactus. That's what I that's what I felt like. I was like, the contrast was so just black and white in my mind. And but then as I've lived here, just the other day, I was driving, I was on the freeway, and I remember looking out and being like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I was just grateful to come to the realization. I was just grateful to the contrast between the two, where I was like, this is burnt cactus. And then the other day I was looking, you know, at the sunset, and I could see the silhouettes of the cactus, and that it was just so beautiful. And I just think about our physical experience here. I love that it's all, well, you may disagree with this, Wileen, but I love that it's not all butterflies and roses and rainbows, because I love that we get to experience, like I love now when I feel sadness, or I feel sorrow in any way, because I know what's on the opposite side of the spectrum for that is just so much joy and so much happiness. And I love being able to experience both, because one is so much sweeter with
Beautiful.
with the contrast. And even going along with that, I had a conversation with my friend the other day, and she said, one of the questions I'm going to ask God is, why is birth so hard? Why is pregnancy and birth so hard? And I remember thinking, oh, Danielle, I I was like, I could answer that right now. I could answer that right now, because how much sweeter that nature prepares you that whole 9 months, and then you get to birth. I chose to birth my babies naturally without an epidural, and I ended up becoming like addicted to it, because there comes this point where you feel like you're going to die. Thought I was going to die, and then within a few minutes, they lay this perfect little piece of just celestialness on your chest, and the contrast between the two is something I wouldn't trade for the world. And so it's like there's a purpose in everything that God does, and I'm just so grateful for all those, just the contrast between everything, and that we get to choose.
I love
I don't
that.
know, to see that and just fully experience it and embrace it.
Wonderful. And what a great example. I hadn't really thought about that, the 9 months of preparation where, there's like the nesting instinct where, you just want to have, prepare this wonderful place, for your child to come to, and watching your body grow and change, and just feeling all of that and the movement inside. And there's so much that happens in that 9 months. And then I love that idea, and I'm just seeing the truth of it, that there is a moment of pain, and then you have this lifetime of joy from having this wonderful child come into your family. And I'm just seeing that's very much the way life is. There's a lot of preparation. There's some time for where, during the middle of the creation, where there's like a lot of stuff that's happening, and it's a little bit overwhelming, and you're stepping into something new, and it's like, but then afterwards it's like, oh, this is so awesome. And you just kind of forget. I don't know if you're like this, but I know I just like totally forgot about the pain of childbirth. And after it was over, it's like, I can't even remember. Like, I know logically it was pretty intense, but I don't even remember it. And I've noticed that that's the way it is when I create something new as well.
Oh, Eileen, that is so, I love what you said. It's just a moment of pain and then a lifetime of joy. The pain are just moments compared to this. That's so true. Yes. And I don't remember the pain within 5 minutes of that baby being on me. It's all washed away. It's amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Betsy.
So I love that that I get to be here in a physical sense. And I love that doctors can do medical workarounds in your body, redo plumbing or redo heart, or I mean, just amazing, amazing things. But I think what I focus most on is our remarkable brains, and down to the cellular levels, and the talking and the information that goes into our brain. I mean, even as we sit still, our brain just takes in all the visuals all around us, and we can close our eyes and we can see that same thing, and we can visualize things in places we've never been before. And so our brain goes from the logic and the known, the facts, the things that you can see, into the imaginable and the dreaming, and connecting with spirit and with God about the possibilities. And so the way our bodies, our physical bodies, are here, and we feel that the senses of the pain or the awesome of hugs and love, but we also have our senses of our intelligence, and just to recognize other intelligence and things that we can't see or understand. And it's just a beautiful openness that drinking in every physical, good, bad, ugly, those are all just labels.
Awesome. I love that. And one of the things that really came to me was the physical experience and how powerful that is. Because like I mentioned about Bryce Canyon, I've seen tons of pictures of Bryce Canyon. It's like, oh, that's cool. That's pretty. But when you stand on an overlook and look out, or you're down in, looking up at the hoodoos, so you can see how tall they are and everything, it's like, and I never had that kind of reaction with a picture. And so there's just, like you mentioned, closing your eyes and visualizing. Think of a sunset. You can close your eyes and visualize a sunset, but when you're in the presence of an amazing sunset, it just takes your breath away. And there's so much that happens with this physical experience. And how grateful I am too that you're here, Betsy, because those medical workarounds that are available, and that all of us, me, that I am still here, physically. All of us have had bumps and bruises along the way in our lifetimes and relied on medical professionals to put our physical bodies back together. And I'm super grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts before we shift over to our permission process? Tyree.
I loved how Brittany talked about, was it Brittany?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they talked about birth. I love birth. I do home births and I love it. It's like this beautiful thing that I just pull into myself, and I have the strength, but it's only through God, because there is that point. But after that point, it is beautiful. I'm so grateful for the description that you both gave. It's awesome. And I also wanted to say that I'm grateful for that my body acts as my director and map, telling me that my emotions and my physical cues, that I'm on the right course or not. And we have the blessing of receiving almost immediate feedback, because our emotions let us know that something's not right, or our thoughts are, something's off. And usually it is our thoughts about the situation rather than the situation itself. And how we can who was it? Rhonda Burns, I think. She said that we could have anything we wanted if we would just change our thinking and just focus on what we want instead of fear. And anyway, and all the things that you teach us is so beautiful, that we have this opportunity in our physical reality to learn differently, even when our ancestors and our epigenetics and our everything has put us in a different situation. We have the ability, through the grace of God, to make something completely different.
Wow, awesome. There's so many stories in history of where someone started out, in one station in life, was born into a particular, class or whatever, and really worked their way into a totally different space, and changed their stars, changed their changed history from that point forward for all of their progenitors, that were to come. And I love that idea of change, and that's possible, not only possible, but I think it's expected, that being here on earth, this is an opportunity here to be able to use and utilize everything that is available to us, people that are around us, our will, our drive, our ideas, our creativity, I think, and imagination are the best skills that anybody could have to be able to just basically change whatever, and create whatever the life that they want. And yeah, we could go off on a tangent and talk just about that. That could be a whole day's worth of conversation, but I'll just leave it at that. I also just want to just express some gratitude, because when I was thinking about, I was looking over the thoughts that have been shared before we started the recording and what we were going to be focusing on today. There were several comments that had to do with mothers. And I had first written down Mother Earth, and I crossed that out, and wrote physical experience on the earth. But you guys brought it in. And so I'm just like so grateful that the Spirit of God is here with us to help us to touch on all the things that are important for us to touch on today. So thanks, everybody. Phil says in the chat, it's amazing how different our body and spirit are. The principles that govern each entity tend to work in polar opposites. For example, our body grows with resistance, like working out, but our spirit shrinks with resistance. Yeah, for sure. And then the scripture, there must need be an opposition in all things. Oh, that's the end of it. Okay, awesome. Yes. I think that combination of spirit and body and all of the things, that we have around us is so important for us to have a wonderful physical experience. Like you're mentioning, Tyree, with the physical body, and, there's different doctors, there's holistic medicine, there's, traditional Western medicine, there's Eastern medicine where it's, about energy, and it's all good. Like bring it all in and use it all together, use a combination of things to have your best life experience, your best physical experience here on earth. Thanks, everybody. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And as you're breathing this time, I want to just really invite you to feel your physical body. Just notice how that breath is coming in. Maybe open up the back of your throat, maybe round out the inside of your mouth. Like you've got a tennis ball on the inside of your mouth. Just really open up the inside of your mouth so that as you're breathing in, that back of your throat is opened up, and allow your rib cage to really expand and drink in this wonderful breath of life that we are given freely, that we have access to every single day, every moment, and that there's plenty. Nobody's going to take our breath away other than maybe standing in front of a wonderful visual expansive landscape takes our breath away. But there's enough for everyone. This is one of our abundant resources, just beautiful oxygen. And go ahead and just drink that in, take all that you need, and know that when you expel the things that you don't need, there are other things that you take those in. The trees and the plants are just super grateful for what you're giving back to the universe. Get back to the earth and take one more deep breath and just feel that gratitude for the way that God set up this earth to have everything that we needed, all the resources, everything is here. And invite you to just be open with your imagination and creativity right now to be aware, first of all, of anything in your body that feels out of alignment. If there's anything that feels heavy or dark or is resisting this beautiful fresh air that you're bringing in, just go to that place in your body, and without resistance, allowing that feeling to be there, just ask the question, what is the message that this feeling in my body has for me right now? What's the message that this feeling has for me? And just write that down and know that is the exact message that you needed to receive from this feeling in your body. And now, because you have received that message, you have an opportunity right now to take that message to heart, to really receive it, or you can resist it, and that feeling in your body would need to stay there if you're resisting it. So you have the choice right now to either receive the message, accept it, believe it, take action on it, or you can resist the message and let it stay there. And neither one is good or bad. It's just whatever you choose right now. So just go ahead and check in. And if you are ready to receive that message and take action on it, then first of all, express gratitude for the feeling in your body because it drew your attention so that you could get this message. So express gratitude for that feeling in your body, and then allow that feeling to do whatever it would like to do. Now that it has delivered the message, maybe it will be expelled as you breathe in and breathe out. Maybe you can expel it out, or maybe it wants to move to a different area of your body. Maybe it wants to grow. Maybe it wants to shrink and disappear. Whatever it would like to do, just watch it. Just watch that feeling in your body and just allow it to be and do whatever it would like to be or do. And just see what else you might be able to learn. And then check in, and if there are any limiting beliefs that are surrounding this experience that you've just had with this feeling in your body, go ahead and write those down as well. We'll take care of those in a moment. And now breathe in again, for drinking in that beautiful fresh air and allowing it to completely fill you up, not only your lungs, but your whole body, all the way down to your fingers and your toes. Just fill your whole body with that beautiful air, and just feel the freedom and the rejuvenation that just breathing brings, and the abundance that breathing is an example of the abundance that God has given us, the abundance of resources. And with this new feeling of freedom and abundance, I invite you to be aware of something maybe that you have been wanting to create. Maybe it's a goal that you have set, or just a thought that's come to you even today about like a goal or something that you want to bring into physical manifestation in your life. And having this feeling of abundance and freedom, and having next steps to take care of clearing, some of these feelings in your body. What is the one most important thing that you could do to take one more step towards that, fulfilling that goal? What's the one most important thing? What's your inspired shortcut to fulfilling that goal or finishing that physical manifestation of whatever it is that you're wanting to create? What's your inspired shortcut today? One most important thing that you could do today to take at least one step towards completing that. And then again, listening for any more limiting beliefs that might be coming up. And then with those limiting beliefs, go ahead and check in, and will those limiting beliefs empower you to be able to take action on that inspired shortcut and to feel free and abundant and move forward in creating this new thing that you want to bring into your life? Or will it be a hindrance? And if you're seeing that this limiting belief is not going to be serving you, it's not going to be empowering you, then now you have a chance to give yourself permission to choose a new belief. So if you're ready to give yourself permission to choose some new beliefs, say yes.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and now take a moment and create some new beliefs, 2 to 3 new beliefs that will replace that old limiting belief and will give you more power and courage and confidence will allow you to help you feel more free and abundant, and that will really allow you to step fully into this new creation that you've envisioned. New beliefs that will help to support you in creating this new vision. And then bring those new beliefs into your body as you breathe in this time. Just really see those new beliefs coming in and filling all of the cells of your body, so that these new beliefs are becoming part of your identity. So not only is it just an idea and a thought and a willingness, but it is who you are, that you are the person who is creating this. And because this is who you are, you're fully aligned. It's just a matter of time before it becomes a reality, a physical reality in your physical world. And in a moment, I'm going to invite you to come back to the present, and we'll have time for just a couple of quick shares. I do want to invite anyone, if you're feeling like you need some extra support in this area, to contact me. Just go to askwylene.com. That will take you directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute call. And I'd love to have that conversation with you. So askwylene.com. Is there anybody that has something they would like to share about their experience today?
Well, I love that process that you just walked through with noticing the sensations in the body and then what are they saying and releasing or accepting it. I think that when we do that, like, that just brings me so much closer to the core of healing, and well, it brings me to the core. So I think that for me, the message was trust, that we cannot trust the world. And I mean, that's a reality, right? But at the same time, we can trust the world because it's God's world, and He is behind it. And that was really the pivotal part of the message for me today, was that if there is anything interfering with my progress, it is putting my trust in the wrong things, and I've addressed that in the past, but it's always another level of addressing it. And so that is really, I'm really grateful for that today.
Awesome. Thank you. I know we were on a call yesterday with our Architecture of Life mentoring clients, and Laura and I were, and Laura, you were talking about how when you feel resistance or you feel triggered in an area, you work through it. And then you might feel the same resistance come up again and you work through it. And I that's so true that, there is a moment where freedom, it's like, I'm done. And until then, it's just, you just continue working through it until you've gotten through it. And it is definitely possible to do that.
Right. Is that at each stage you feel better, at each stage your experience becomes better. It's like if you're living in darkness and it gets a little bit brighter,
right,
then it's a little bit brighter, and then the darkness that you used to experience and then, well, let's say you go one more stage and it's a little bit brighter still. Well, now the light, what used to be light, is darkness. So you're going to experience that as a contrast, right? And then there's a brighter light ahead, and in this life, there is always a brighter light that will come into our lives. Not that we strive for, right? But that we look joyfully to accept and expand into.
I love that. Yes. As our light brightens, as we as we let go of, a lot of things and have a brighter light within us, then we're able to perceive brighter light too.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like, just that process of working through those things as well, it really gives us power. I mean, it really gives us evidence that we have the power to be able to overcome that darkness and to continue moving forward.
Yes.
Awesome. Beautiful. Colleen, thank you.
I was thinking about Pavlov's dog. Do you remember that experiment? How some things are automatically training us and we don't even recognize it. But spiritually, when Phil commented on spiritual, it stifles growth with resistance, I started thinking about how it has to be a conscious choice to change your nature in some things. It has to be a will to follow Christ, a will to gain understanding through him, through all experiences, and not treat him as an enemy to our soul, because he's the best friend we have. Wow. Just to be willing to go through this and know that there's no judgment, but there is things to help our particular spirits to choose something better. But it has to be a conscious choice to make those adjustments. It has to be submitting our will consciously to God and to trusting in him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. And I'm not even going to add to it because you've said it beautifully. Just that conscious choice to change. And we can choose to align with him because we can trust him, because that is where we're going to have the best experience, is being aligned with him. Well, thanks everybody. I would love to continue this conversation. I would want to invite all of you to go to our Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group and share your thoughts there. I know this has been a really awesome experience for me. I just feel like I'm going to have a better day in God's world because of what you all have shared. So thank you so much for being here. We'll look forward to being back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And thanks for being here. Love you guys.
Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you. Love you too. I feel the same way.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.